Hey everybody, welcome to the Black Sheep Props channel. I'm Steve and I'm here to teach you the tips, tools, techniques, and materials for building your very own super cool EVA foam props. Now in our last build we went action-adventure when we built the flamethrower from G.I. Joe Rise of Cobra. And if you missed that build, we're going to include the link in the description below to our channel's homepage so you can go over there and check out Flamethrower or any of the other super cool builds we have there. But for this build, we are going to go video game. So without further ado, Black Sheep Props would like to introduce you to the newest member of the family. That's right. Wow. Check that out. The Boomerang from Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Look at that thing, man. Cool. It's wood. It's got the wood grain on it. It's got all this cool stuff wrapped around it. Looks like two different kinds of metal. Got our stripes on there, and let me tell you something, this thing was super fun and super easy. You can totally nail this. Really easy stuff. So in this episode, making an EVA foam Breath of the Wild Boomerang, we're going to go step by step through how to make it. We're going to do the whole thing in this build. And by the way, if you want to build along with us, have your very own Boomerang, we have a template. So we'll include the link in the description below to our storefront, so if you want to go pick up a template, you can. So that's it. If you're ready to hit it, let's make something. We've got some 3mm, we've got a couple 4mm sections, a couple little 6mm circles, and then the bulk of the body is going to be made up of this 1.5" 36mm jazz right here. From this height down to the height of the bottom of these two edges would be too high to send through the bandsaw, so we're going to have to do it in two pieces. So we cut it right down the middle like that. And we used the bottom tip here and the furthest bottom piece of this curve, and we lined them both up at the bottom. All right? And now we're gonna cut out this line right here so that we have a perfect shape. And we did the same thing on this side. So we're going to start off first by cutting these squares out, all right, on the bandsaw. Okay, now what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking this and we're going to be feeding it through the bandsaw and we're going to taper it. Okay, so we struck our line, we moved it around to the top, we struck our line off of this end and moved it around to the top, so we know this from here to here is where we're going to taper. And then we drew our line right here and right here. We're going to come down from 1.5" down to 3/4. All right, so now this is high enough right here so we can feed it through the bandsaw. We've got a taper right here and we've got a taper right here. Perfect. All right. We cut our template off. There we go. Now we're going to go over to the bandsaw and we're going to cut these pieces out. All right. That is cool. Now look what happens. Now when you flip it upside down, it goes from 1.5" thick down to 3/4. Let's give it a few minutes and you know the drill. Once both sides dry, then it can make contact. See? We're just going to come in, line our corner up very carefully, just like that. And we're going to line this edge up so we know we're right on the money, just like that. And now we'll line this corner up and this corner right there. All right, there we go. There it is. Now it's one piece. The Boomerang. Check it out. Nice and tapered from 1.5" down to 3/4. Really cool. All right, we're going to start doing the simple details that go around our boomerang. We've got a 3mm piece and a 2mm piece. So what we're going to do first is we're going to cut these two openings out, and then we're going to easy stuff. Now we're going to come to this outside mark, and we're going to go just to the outside like that. All right, there we go. All right, now let's come into these 4mm pieces, and we're just going to knock all these out one at a time. Perfect. All right, there's two of our little scrolly pieces right there. Now we've got this 4mm piece, which is just straight wrap. Here's our 4mm strips. Here's our 4mm scrolls. Here's our two pieces that are going to wrap around the end. Here's our oval. Here's our couple of rivets. All right. Okay, we're coming in. We've got our dust mask on. We're coming with our super rough bit. We are going to start shaping our boomerang, all right? We're going to use the rough bit first. All right, there we go. Round it off nicely. We're going to take out our rough bit. We're going to put in our smooth bit, and we're going to get really clean now. We're going to clean it up. All right, there we go. Look at that. Beautiful. Well, now we started with our soft bit, and we just slightly rounded the edge here. And then we tapered right into our big soft curve that we did. And look, we smoothed that out a little bit. That's looking pretty nice. Now we're just going to do that all the way around the whole piece. All right, check it out, man. We smoothed that edge over. Wow, look at that. Nice. That is pretty cool. Now you can take a lot more time if you want to really massage this thing and get it perfect. But that's not too bad. All right, let's come in with our 220 sanding stick. We're going to go around all the edges just to smooth it out a little bit more. All right. That's it, just keep going. All right, now we're going to come in with our 320, which is a lot smoother, and that's going to really smooth it out. We rounded the edges over, nice and smooth. All right, now we're going to seal it. All right, there we go. Foam tightened up a little bit. Look at that, that's nice. Pretty darn smooth. And like I said, you could have taken more time and you could have sanded even more and you could have really smoothed it out, but that's not too bad. That's mighty nice. We left a fairly sharp edge here and a totally sharp edge here because we're going to be laying those pieces down. But look at that. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be bringing this in now and we're going to start laying stuff down, all right? So let's go ahead and slide all this out of the way. All right, we've got our marks down. All right, here we go. Now we're gonna have to really be careful here. All right, we're gonna line this corner up perfectly. We're gonna follow it all the way around so that we know we're lined up flush. Okay, there we go, perfect. Now put this down. Okay, we're going to lay this down and get the point right in the middle. Now we line the bottom edge up flush. Now let's get our corner down perfectly right there. We're going to line it up all the way around the bottom edge, just like that. All right, look at that. This is what's so cool about what we did. Check it out. We've got this lined up with the corner right down here and over here. So it looks like this is one piece that wraps around the whole thing. Really? All right, there we go. There's one side. Here's the other side. Now what happened is we got a little bit of a mistake, and that's as we were wrapping it around, since this is really thin foam, it buckled a little bit right here, and we've got this big wrinkle, but that's okay. We'll be able to come in with the Dremel, and we'll be able to clean it up, and it'll look all right. But all right, there you go. Look at that. Perfect. Nice and smooth. So even if you end up messing up a little bit and your foam buckles up and you have a big bump or something, you come in with the Dremel and just smooth it right out. Check that out. And what we're going to do too while we have our Dremel bit out is you can see some of this contact cement residue. You won't really notice that too much when you seal it and paint it, but we're going to come in with this bit. Beautiful. We've got all of our residue cleaned off. That's nice. Really cool. And then over on this side, we sanded off our bump. Pretty nice. And also got rid of our residue. So that's looking pretty darn clean. Now once we seal this, it's going to look really sharp. Look at that. Hot dog. That's cool. All right, we're going to do our next piece. We're going to come in and we are going to stick it down, wrap around the bottom just like this. And we've got our center mark right here, and we've got our center mark here, and we've got the distance from here to here marked off right there with our two marks. So we know when we stick that down, everything's going to go down perfectly. All right. Nice. We're going to come in and put this down and hold it, and we're going to do the same thing right there. Locked in place. Okay. All right, now we're going to hold it, and we're just going to take our time. We're going to go around the whole ring, putting super glue down, squeegeeing it down smooth, and holding it in place. Perfect. Now check that out. The point of our oval is right at the center seam, so it went down perfectly centered. Very nice. Nice. That's it. All right, now we've got our center line right here. This is going to come around, it's going to wrap, and it's going to fold right around like this. Look at that. All right, there we go. There's where our center mark is going to line up right there on both sides. All right, that's it. Now we know we're centered right in the right spot. Now we can go one little piece at a time and get this lined up to where this piece comes around and lines right up at our center crease, just like that on both sides. Sweet, look at that. Really cool stuff, right? And now we cut our template apart. Okay, we're gonna cut it apart as we go. We're gonna lay it down, strike our line, flip it, strike our line, and we've got our line going all the way around the piece, so we know right where we're going to be gluing. We're gonna come in with this thin 4mm piece and we're gonna wrap it around. We've got our center mark made, so we know we can come up here and we can start right in the center, and we're gonna be in good shape. All right. Sweet, there we go. And since we're using a thin piece of 4mm foam, we can wrap it and we can bend it around the corner like this and like this. All right, now we're gonna come in and we're gonna make a mark so we can cut these off, all right? So we're gonna, there. All right, now we know exactly where we need to cut. Just like that. And then we'll come around to this side, do the same thing, right there. All right, now when we wrap these around, they're gonna come right up to each other and meet perfectly. All right, there we go, check it out. That's it, wraps around, connects it. All right, there we go. Those are both put down. Now we went ahead and cut the next piece of our template and we lined it up, struck our line here, flipped it around, struck our line there. All right, so now we've got our line drawn all the way around. Exactly the same thing we've been doing. We're gonna take these two slightly wider pieces and we're gonna wrap them around. But first, before we do that, we're gonna come with a little puddle of super glue. Coming down to the last couple pieces. All right, now we're gonna take our time with our super glue. We're gonna start with our center mark right here in the middle, and we're gonna wrap both of these pieces around just like we've been doing. Okay, now we cut another piece of our template and we drew these lines right here. Okay, because these pieces are gonna come right off of it and we're gonna have to cut them on an angle, so we made our mark there and there. All right, so we're gonna come in. All right, now this can line right up there and this can line right up there. Perfect, just like that. Look at that. That fits perfect right there and right there. Nice. That's what we're doing, just like that. All right, I should be wearing a glove right now, but I'm not. All right, and there we go. Look at those crazy details on there. Wow. Simple, going right through. Look at that. A couple spins and some pressure, and it goes right through. Get a super glue puddle down there. Get the bottom wet. We're going to bring this in right there. Same thing. Shaped out our body, two different pieces. Then you saw us taper it, attach it, and then you saw us do this simple two-step piece down here on the end, a 3mm piece with a 2mm, cut it out, wrapped it on both ends, and then we came in and cut out all of our thin scrolly pieces and our strips out of 4mm and took our time with super glue. Easy. All right, that pretty much brings the build portion of our Breath of the Wild boomerang to a close. Okay, we're out at the spray stand. We are going to coat our boomerang with our Plastidip. And you know what we always say, do not spray, even if you're outside in a well-ventilated area, without your respirator. All right, there we go. Nice and easy. All right, so let's let it dry and then we'll paint it. Okay, we're gonna start with our medium gray. All right, there we go. That paint is going down terrible. All right, we're gonna definitely be doing several coats. All right, so. Okay, there's one really bad coat of our medium gray right there in all the spots it needs to be in. Now, if you noticed, this really smooth foam here, which was like a 2mm that we wrapped, handles the paint differently than up here where it's rougher because we dremeled it and stuff. So the paint handles a tiny bit better here, but still kind of funky. But this happens all the time. We're just gonna let it dry all the way through. Then we're gonna come in with a couple different coats and we're gonna fill it in. It's gonna be real nice and solid. All right. All right, here's the second coat going down. Really filling in now. Much more full color. Right. Big difference. All right, you can see it. Second coat stops right there. That's it, just keep going. Okay, 2 coats. Let it dry, then we'll come in with a third. 3 coats of the gray. We're almost totally solid. That is. Okay, now we're gonna come in and we're gonna start doing the wood part. It's a really light colored wood in the images that I've seen. So we found this color right here. It's actually called Teddy Bear. And it is a pretty darn close color to the color that the photos look like. All right. Okay, there we go. That is some junky looking paint coverage right there. Wow, that might even be worse than the medium gray when we first put it down. But we'll let it dry. We'll hit it with a second coat and then probably a third and it'll be solid. Okay, there we go. There's the difference with 2 coats. All right, here's 1 coat, really thin and kind of cruddy looking, and then down here is a second coat. So look at the difference. That to that. All right, there we go. 2 coats. Let it dry, and then we'll do a third. All right, dig it. There's 3 coats of our teddy bear color. Nice. All right, that is pretty darn solid. All right, now we're gonna leave this alone. We're gonna let it dry perfectly all the way through. Then we're gonna come in, we're gonna put in some wood grain, and we're gonna get some silver details on here. All right, not bad. Okay, now what we're doing is we're coming in here with our silver. All right, this is really easy stuff. That's it. That easy. We're gonna come in and we're gonna cut in all the way around all of our pieces, just like that. All right, there we go. We took our time. We cut in around the bottom edge of our silver band, cut in around the top part, filled in the top, and then we did it on all of our silver pieces, let it dry, did a second coat. That's looking pretty nice. Really? Okay, now we're going to do some simple little grain patterns, okay? We're going to come in with this raw sienna. Just like that. All right, we got it started with the thick brush, just so we knew where our line was going to be, and then we're going to come in with this pointy little brush just to clean up the edges where it runs into another piece right there. And we're going to fill in our stripe just like that, so it's solid. Simple wood grain on there, and now what we're going to do is this. All right, we're going to come over to the top, all right, now we're going to continue it over on this side, and we're going to have our lines come around the bottom and connect down here. That's it, around the top, on the side, around the bottom. All right, let's leave it alone. Let's let it set up and dry. Then we'll come in and we'll put our stripes on here. There we go, 3 coats of red and green, looking good. Check that out. Really cool stuff. So you saw how the whole thing was easy hand painting. You saw us get the medium gray in, you saw us cut in all around the silver pieces with the edge of our brush and then fill in the top. On the ends also, real easy stuff. Same thing with the wood. We cut in around the edge of the silver pieces with our wood color, which was our, I believe it was teddy bear. And then came in and did our wood grain. Pretty cool. And our stripes, real easy stuff. Not bad. So with that last detail, the 3rd coat on the stripes, that brings our Breath of the Wild Boomerang build to a close. What can I say? Whole build, 1 episode. We built it, we sealed it, and we painted it. And you saw how easy all of it was. The build was super easy. All we really did was shape out our body. We cut a lot of thin strips, did a lot of wrapping with super glue, really easy stuff. And the paint job was super easy too, all brush and the usual drill. We came in, we cut in around our edges of our silver and then filled it in, cut in around the edges of our wood and filled it in, real easy stuff. And we forgot to hit record to show you how we did the stripes. Real easy stuff. We just laid some tape down. Not as a mask. We didn't fill in right to the tape. We just put the tape down and we used our brush and we drew the line by hand. So it was just a guide. So real easy stuff. And you know what? You don't even need to use the tape if you don't want. If your hand is pretty steady, you could just paint your own stripes on there. That was it, man. Super easy, and man, this thing is cool. That concludes making an EVA foam Breath of the Wild Boomerang. Hope you liked it. If you did, give us a like, share us with a friend, and subscribe to this channel. And together we're going to go step by step through a lot more super cool builds so that you get the props you deserve. Thanks for coming. See you next time.